Well, yesterday was America's 250th birthday. We wanted to celebrate liberty. We wanted to celebrate democracy. And we wanted to celebrate that all are created equal. And then I saw this photograph. A lone black woman sitting quietly on a Washington metro train, surrounded by white Christian nationalists. I don't know what she was thinking. I won't pretend to. But I couldn't shake the feeling for one frozen moment that train wasn't moving through Washington. It was moving backward through history, toward a version of America that too many people still romanticize. I couldn't help but think of Rosa Parks, not because these moments are the same, they aren't, but because history has a way of rhyming. Once again, a lone black woman found herself seated quietly while hatred tried to surround her. And it made me wonder, will intimidation decide who belongs in America? We hear the phrase, "Make America great again." And the obvious question has always been, great for whom? Because for many Americans, the past wasn't some golden age. It was something they fought to overcome. There's an old phrase from the civil rights movement. They can make you suffer, but they can't make you surrender. Whether she felt angry, afraid, or simply determined, I don't know. I won't pretend to. But I do know this. Yesterday, we should have been celebrating how far we've come. Instead, this is the image I can't stop thinking of.
Did you guys see this picture? What you're looking at is the group called Patriot Front. It is a white supremacist group that believes that anybody but white people are basically alien to this country, that only Americans can be white. It's filled with young men who wear masks like cowards. But what you're looking at here is a black woman on a DC metro train surrounded by members of the Patriot Front. And I believe this picture will end up being a picture that really is in the history books and defines kind of this time period. Now, look, the point in this is she's not standing up and yelling. Doesn't have a protest sign. She's not telling these cowards how wrong they are. She would be completely right in doing all of that. She's simply unintimidated, at least it appears so, and existing. She's going on with her life. By her silence, by her continuing to stay there, she is calling out the cowardice of these men. And I think that's really appropriate for how it is today. Everybody's thinking through, what do I need to do? How can I fight back? What can I do? And, constantly when there are things you can do, you should. But the reality is we just have to continue to persevere through this moment. It's images like that one that are the most powerful images, more so than two people yelling at each other. It's one person seeming to refuse to be intimidated and to be moved. I think you will see this picture for a very long time, and we don't know who she is. As far as I know, as of now, she hasn't been identified or has chosen not to identify herself. But that is an example of how we as Americans persevere through a difficult moment. We simply exist. We fight where we can. We refuse to be intimidated. And at the end of the day, we will look back and see victory.
Picture this, you're on the DC Metro just trying to get somewhere on 4th of July. Outside, the city is celebrating America turning 250. By an administration you're acutely aware emboldens racist, supports white nationalism, and celebrates hate. The doors open and you're surrounded. A wall of masked white men floods the car. Navy shirts, khaki pants, tan caps, Confederate flags. Well, for a black woman photographed in that exact car today, it wasn't theoretical, it wasn't a headline, it was her body boxed in by men who believes the country isn't hers to occupy. This image, a black rider cornered in public transit by mass extremists, is extremely representative of the nation and is a microcosm for Trump's administration. The men on that train belong to the Patriot Front, the group born out of the wreckage of Charlottesville Unite the Right rally back in 2017 when Trump said they were very fine people on both sides. After that rally's backlash, the group's founder, Thomas Rousseau, understood that he couldn't use a swastika. That's too outright, that's too in your face. So the symbols changed and they started using the Betsy Ross flags, the red, white, and blue shields, the language of lineage and birthright. What didn't change was the goal. A white ethno-state built on the exclusion of Black, Latino, and immigrant Americans. Why do they feel safe enough to march unmasked confidently into a federal holiday chanting "Reclaim America" blocks from Union Station? Because extremism doesn't grow in isolation. These sentiments with the Great Replacement theory cast immigrants as invaders and treats multiracial society as a problem to be solved. The rhetoric doesn't stay abstract. White nationalists don't hear policy. They hear that, oh, what we believe is a green light for us to enact this in real life outright.
They fought for a nation that was proud of its heritage, that was unashamed to say that America was built by and for the descendants of the European race, that was unafraid to say that we have a culture deeply steeped in the Anglo-Saxon traditions of our forebears.
That validation is exactly why Patriot Front has grown reportedly past 540 members nationwide while perfecting a specific tactic, the flash march. Sudden, choreographed, built for the camera, not for community. They don't march to persuade anyone standing in front of them. They march to manufacture footage, dominance theater for the algorithm. So when someone asks why America keeps circling back to race, the answer isn't in the textbooks. It was riding the metro through the nation's capital this weekend. For millions of Americans, race isn't a debate club topic. It's a body pressed against train doors, a face held still while men in masks film their own myth. The masks are old, the choreography is new, but the project is the same one it has always been, deciding out loud and on camera who gets to count as an American.
I just cannot stop thinking about that photo from this weekend. The photo of a Black woman sitting on a train, a metro in Washington, D.C., surrounded by members of the Patriot Front, which is a white nationalist group. And I think that picture went viral because for a lot of people, myself included, it felt like a metaphor. It to me is a physical representation of a tension that has frankly always existed in America. Who gets to belong? Who gets to be considered American? These are questions that we have been asking since the founding of this country, if we want to be honest. You know, the founders wrote that all men are created equal, while many of the same men who signed that glorious document owned people who looked like me. So, yes, I recognize that the photo is uncomfortable, that these conversations are uncomfortable, but this is a very American conversation. And, you know, history tells us something about this. White supremacist movements in America, they have always adapted to the moment. Now, no, the Patriot Front is not the KKK. But it sure seems to me that white supremacy has traded in the hoods and torches for khakis and white ski masks. The packaging has changed, but the message about who belongs and who has power, it has not changed, okay? And history teaches us something important about that these movements often show up when the racial hierarchy in this country feels like it's changing. The KKK didn't emerge before the Civil War. It emerged during Reconstruction. After the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, after Black men gained voting rights and political power. So when people say, why do you have to make everything about race, Simone? My response is often, I am not the one making it about race. The racists are. Black people did not create slavery. Black people did not create Jim Crow, okay? Black people did not create segregation. And Black people were not the ones marching through the United States Capitol questioning who gets to belong in America. For 250 years, America's story has been a fight over whether the promise of this country expands or it contracts. And that photo reminded a lot of people, myself included, that the fight is still happening today.
This is America under Felon 47. On the 250th anniversary of American independence, hundreds of members of the white nationalist group Patriot Front rode the Washington, D.C. metro. One Black woman, calm, unmasked, looking straight ahead. Around her, a train full of white nationalists covering their faces because they know exactly how the public sees them. Cowards. If you're so proud of your message, why hide? If you believe you're on the right side of history, why make sure nobody can identify you? And if you're waiting for Felon 47 or his administration to condemn this, baby, stop waiting. This is an administration that has spent years using rhetoric that many critics have called white nationalist dog whistles, attacking diversity, rewriting history, and creating an environment where extremists feel comfortable and even emboldened. White nationalism doesn't grow in a vacuum. It grows when leaders refuse to condemn it. This woman sat there with more courage than every masked man surrounding her. Remember this photo, because one day people will ask what America looked like at 250. Show them this. Will this photo be remembered as a warning that America ignored, or a moment that finally woke people up? And that's the read. If you like your tea hot, share it, save your seat, and follow for more. This is the Notorious JTB, notoriously opinionated, signing out.
She was the only one that didn't need a mask. This young, strong black woman. Not fearful, not scared, just present. And I love it. You see, on America's 250th anniversary, this is the picture that tells the truth. Not the fireworks, not the apple pie. It is this picture. It is this black woman that has to face the fact that when she goes to a hospital and gives birth, she is 3 times more likely to die. It is this black woman who may have a master's degree that is surrounded by these white men who she only earns a little bit more, even with that master's degree, than these masked white men. This picture tells the truth. Don't show me anything else. This is what we have to face. Yes, you can say nothing happened. Yes, you can say there weren't anything violent done to her. But this is the fear. This is the menace that as black people we have to deal with. And this is why this picture is so powerful. Tell me what you think in the comments. I can't get over it. This is who America is. Y'all take care. I'm going to talk about this on the next live.
Black people, black people, black people. The only chosen one. The most peculiar people. Fearless, resilient, strong. Epitome of beauty. That is just what this woman literally demonstrated. I don't know if you guys have literally seen these clips or this picture before. If you have any other meaning contrary to what you're going to actually watch, let me know in the comment section. I would really love to get from your own end, because we all know that this is for educational purposes only, not to come bash or lash on anyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, with that being said, let's dive right into this video. I'll be back with commentaries. Let's go watch, guys.
This picture just stopped me in my tracks. It's America's Independence Day today. 250 years since its founding. One woman sits alone on a Washington, D.C. metro train, a picture taken by Reuters. She's surrounded by masked white nationalists heading to a march. She's not shouting, she's not reacting, she's just simply there. What a haunting image, and one that should make every decent human being feel uncomfortable. This picture needs to be remembered, not because of fear, but because this should never be allowed to become normal.
This photo is a depiction of just a normal Tuesday of being black in America. A normal Saturday. I know everybody's talking about how this is so shocking. This is Trump's America. This is the photo of the era, the photo of 2026. This photo taken by Reuters of this black woman sitting on the DC metro, surrounded by the white supremacist nationalist group, the Patriot Front, is not shocking, is not appalling, is not out of the ordinary. That photo is what it is to exist in a black body in America every single day. And not just when there's a camera to record it or document it. It's an example. It's the every time I go into a store and the security guard or the employees follow me around. Meanwhile, the 5 white girls that have been stealing walk out with a cart or a purse full of shit. It's the old white man wearing his veteran hat with a scowl on his face. It's the pickup truck with a Punisher sticker on the jacked up dually. It's the Confederate flag bumper stickers. It's the people walking around wrapped up in Americana fashion, literally wearing the flag like it's a goddamn costume. This is every day. It's walking into every room, every space, and having to do mental math to see how many people are in the room that look like me. This photo is a mirror of what it is like to exist as a black person in America every goddamn day. This is not an anomaly. It just happened to be caught on camera and shared on social media. Because please understand, this is not just the marches. It's what happens behind the scenes, behind the camera, when no one's looking. This is what happens when we're the only one in the room, surrounded by people who don't look like us and come from the same culture that produces these men wearing white masks on their faces marching on DC. Y'all want to know why she has that look on her face? Because she was minding her business and looked up to realize she is surrounded by a white supremacist hate group and that she is the only one on that train that looks like her. She is the only one of her community to be present in this space. Why does she have that look on her face? Well, Tamla Hosford, Nolan Xavier Wells, that's why she has that look on her face. So don't be shocked, because this pattern is not new. It's old enough to name, to point out, to recognize. We just have better technology now, better cameras, people that are actually paying attention. We've simply gone back to a place where they don't feel like they have to hide anymore. And they weren't hiding for very long. Being black in America has always looked like that photo. It's just now in 2026, we get to watch it happen in real time. And those of you who don't live the experiences are finally able to see it as it's happening.
One word. Sickening. On America's birthday, 250th birthday, we got white nationalists marching to the Capitol on this D.C. train headed to D.C. surrounding this black woman, y'all. For one, I hope she made it home safe. This administration supports these white nationalists and these white supremacist groups. That's where we at, y'all. And it kind of makes sense because all these hangings and lynchings is tied to this group. This group on this train, y'all. You know what? Watch the fucking video.
Every American needs to see this image today. This is the Washington, D.C. Metro. You see white nationalist Patriot Front members marching on our nation's capital on America's 250th anniversary as one person looks on. She's not masked. She's not hiding her face. She is sitting, a commuter, in a sea full of white nationalists, a sea full of people chanting to, quote, reclaim the United States of America, a sea full of people who are masked, who refuse to show their faces out of cowardice, a sea full of people who want people like her to not have rights in the United States of America. This image was taken by Reuters today. It was on the DC Metro, and it's an image that I think every American needs to see as we recognize America's 250th anniversary. We have cowards riding the Metro, and we have a brave commuter sitting not masked in the face of it all. Spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about.
We need flag. Flag, 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 flag to the front. That's about it. We're good. Reclaim America!
And it is damn near 100 degrees in DC. I hope y'all pass out. Matter of fact, I don't even have to hope y'all pass out. Y'all probably will pass out because it's hot as hell. And y'all are choosing to be racist and march down the street saying bullshit. And furthermore, if it's something so innocent, if you're just proud to be an American, you're just celebrating the 250-year birth of America, why is your face covered? Reveal yourself. Show who you are. Why are you covering your face marching down the street? Like, I really wish that we could come together, because I feel like if we could, we would fuck shit up. And I feel like they constantly do this because we do not stick together long enough to actually fuck shit up. And so they do bullshit like this. Why are you choosing violence on a day? Why? Just like enjoy your 4th of July, go about your business, be happy. And it's so funny because when Juneteenth came around, everybody was talking shit about what we was gonna be doing and how we was gonna be acting. Meanwhile, we wasn't bothering nobody. We didn't give a fuck about y'all. We wasn't thinking about y'all. We was just over here chilling, vibing, having fun, doing whatever we was doing. But on y'all day, this is what the fuck y'all choose to do. If only we could come together. If you in the DC area, stay fucking dangerous, because they out here.
This is a picture that every American should see today for our nation's 250th birthday. It was just taken by Reuters on the DC Metro, and it's all of these different white nationalists who are part of the group called Patriot Front surrounding this woman, a woman of color, on the DC Metro. All of these cowards that you see in this photo are marching in DC right now as I'm filming this, carrying Confederate flags. They're covering up their faces because they don't want to own their racist beliefs. They just want to say them behind a mask. And the fact that this woman is sitting on the Metro, surrounded by these freaks, and she's not moving, she's not getting up, giving them her seat, is a beautiful small act of resistance. And by the way, she has more courage in her thumb than any of these losers do in their entire bodies.
I'm sure by now everybody has seen the photo of the black woman riding the DC Metro, sitting between the KKK members. And this is the photo right here. And one of the main reasons why it is that I'm not showing this sister's face is because the white photographer who took this photo, I asked, hey, did you ask this sister if it was okay to be able to utilize her photo in this way? No response. And then I got a lot of people that were like, well, legally, and some folks attempting to try to tell me what a photojournalist is entitled to do because they work for the news. And this is where I need to speak to allies for a moment. Black people have a personhood. We are not just person number 16. We are humans that have agency. So my question to the photographer was not about legality. It was, hey, did you recognize this person as a human being or a subject? Enough to ask her if it was okay that she was photographed, or at the very least communicate with her in some way to even be able to identify the sister by her name. All of the narratives that have been created by this photo about this black woman being so scared. I wonder how scared she was. She a black woman in DC riding the Metro. That's just the one scared. Hell, she was probably irritated. But somewhere along the way, people continued to respect.
This country has not changed and most likely will never change, bro, unless all the structures holding everything up are completely abolished and dismantled. A black woman on a train in Washington, D.C., surrounded by a whole bunch of hoe-ass white supremacists. Very unsettling to see in 2026, but not surprising, you know what I'm saying? Especially whenever you consider the fact it's like America's 250th birthday. And that's why I've always kind of like rolled my eyes when people say that things for black people are a lot better now. You know, so we should stop complaining, because like even when I was younger, I was like, Trayvon Martin got his life taken by a fucking civilian and no justice was had. Police can take the life of any and every black person if they feel like it and not face any consequences. So how are things that much better? We're not in slavery. You know, I feel like that should be like a fucking baseline for a modern day society. We shouldn't have slavery, but we still do have slavery though. That's the thing. Go to prison, you're pretty much a slave. You give your rights away. And the majority of white folks don't really see there's like a big issue that black folks have modern day, because we're not getting whipped. We're not being forced to work in fields, so everything must be okay. You know what I'm saying? But like, they don't see the things that are happening modern day as like overly violent and just as violent as what was happening back in the day. And there's also a lot of black folks that are just complacent and okay with the conditions right now, because they either feel like that if they work hard enough, they'll be in whitey's position one day, or they just feel like their life is so inconsequential and like they can't really make an impact. But if enough of us get up, if enough of us speak up, we can make a big difference. We've seen this shit before in the past. You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck would it be any different now?
Right now, this picture is going viral of a black woman sitting on a train surrounded by members of the Patriot Front. For those who don't know what the Patriot Front is, they are a far-right extremist group who hold pretty problematic views that I certainly do not care for. With that being said, this woman was able to sit on that train and nothing happened to her. Nobody said a single word to her. Everybody kind of kept to their own. Nobody laid a finger on her. She was able to get on and get off at her own entrance, and nobody did a single thing to her.
TikTok supports white supremacy, and to say that you don't agree with and are not defending the white supremacist while literally agreeing with and defending the white supremacist is crazy work. This is a picture from the 1960s depicting a Klan parade. And if you look close enough, you'll see black people standing in the back watching. Does that mean that the Klan isn't dangerous? Does that mean that they haven't murdered us over and over again? No. It just means that we are used to seeing these terrible people because they've been given too much freedom. The disturbing part about that picture was not that they were interacting with a black person without hurting them. The scary part is that that person that we know that doesn't like black people is probably a school teacher, a janitor, someone that works at a restaurant, a politician, a police officer. It is a reminder that Zionism and white supremacy are the same things.
The photo of the black woman on the subway with all the white supreme pizza, the white mediocrity. White folks, we're talking about this wrong, and it's making me uncomfortable. She must... you're putting so much assumptions in there. She must have been scared to be surrounded by whites, like black women aren't surrounded by racist and white supremacists every day in this fucking country. Not to mention the photo was taken by a white man, and I saw, because black women have agency, and, you know, they deserve dignity, and, I think I understand the empathetic intent that white folks are coming with, but you're doing it through your position of white privilege, of not acknowledging the everyday experience that is like black women's existence. I don't know, it's making me uncomfortable. The matriarch I serve, even she commented, the face gave off vibes of annoyance, not fear. I don't know. I think you should just listen to the black people. There's the TikTok. Listen to the black women. There you go. In summary, that's a grown-ass black woman on the subway who shouldn't be infantized or tokenized, and to have white folks immediately assumed that she was just consumed with fear.
Have you seen this picture by Reuters? This young black woman surrounded by white nationalists on a subway in D.C. Surrounded. She's the only other person there. If you don't think they're trying to bring back segregation and making scenes like Rosa Parks, then you have no idea what's going on in this country. She has more braveness in her little finger than all these skinny khaki wearing pieces of crap. Literally alone on a subway car full of fascists by herself. I have no more words.
Imagine you on your way home on the train and you look up and you surrounded by a whole bunch of white men with masks. This photo happened in DC this weekend on 4th of July. Now, I know some of y'all probably don't know who the hell these people are, and I didn't either, but I did my research, and let's talk about it. The group is called the Patriot Front. They are a white nationalist group. If you don't know what white nationalists mean, they basically feel like they racist people that feel like white people should run the world. They should have all the power, all of that. Basically, the fake KKK, okay? They decide.
Gotta keep it 100, you know. That's all I do is keep it 100. As a nigga from Texas, bro, you niggas won't walk through New York at all. At all, gang. And, like, I would think y'all guys, like, y'all stand on what y'all stand on, know what I'm saying? I don't know too much about y'all. I just know y'all racist, so fuck y'all. But if y'all stand on what y'all stand on, y'all will walk through anywhere. So I would really like for y'all next location, though, be to walk through New York. I know y'all probably in the South most likely because that's the most racist, you know what I'm saying? So I would like to think that y'all in the South for real. So I just really want y'all to go to New York as y'all next stop. And if y'all make it through that bitch, I'm pussy.
The modern day Rosa Parks. Can you imagine what's going through this poor woman's head? Apparently not much, as new details have come out about the past history of the Democrats' newest poster child. According to arrest records, the left's new hero is named Bernita Bolding, and she's been arrested and charged with indecent exposure for exposing herself on the DC Metro. I guess we should have been worried about the Patriot Front guys after all, because apparently this woman has defecated on the train in front of the whole train before. I don't know. Seems like a weird hero to me, but what do y'all think? Let me know down in the comments.
You know, they say black women are magic. I think this picture that went viral over the 4th of July weekend of that black woman on the train surrounded by all those racists heading to D.C. is another example of that. Because by all reports, this lady made it home safe and sound. Which tells me that black women are the kryptonite for this new age incel racist because they're too scared to talk to women to be racist. Because in order to call a black woman a slur, you first have to approach a woman. The blackness is almost canceled out by the fact that she's a woman. It's like, oh, I want to call her so bad, but ooh, what if she rejects me? Not you send your friend to go talk to the girl for you because you're scared. Like, hey, my friend over there wants to get your number. They gotta send the Uncle Tom of their group, the Clayton Bigsby, over there to go call her out of her name. Hey, my man right there in the white ski mask wants to call you a nigga. You know what I mean? So, you into that?
When we look back in history on America celebrating 250 years of history, this image is going to be in the history books because as we are trying to celebrate 250 years of freedom, not 250 years of freedom that black Americans have, these people want to quote unquote take their country back. Meanwhile, this black woman has to be on a train ride with all of these people who hate her for just existing. And you can tell the level of unbothered that she has. It's like, y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all all talk. That's why y'all have to wear masks and cover yourselves to begin with. But yes, when we look back in history on America 250 and how divided America is, this picture will signify so much because yes, these men, they took their time on the 4th of July, the one 4th of July that's celebrating 250 years, and they wanted to make a statement. And the only statement they made is America hasn't progressed as much as people wanted to believe. They want to bring us so far back to where they're putting a certain people on a pedestal, and America isn't going back. So this picture will go down in history books. How would you describe the tough times of the 2020s? And they will use a photo like this.
I see everyone online talking about this picture and they're completely mischaracterizing it. I see a lot of people that don't look like me trying to characterize this photo with words like brave and courageous, when to me, that's not what it's saying. When I see this photo, it just reminds me of how adaptable black people have to be in this country. This woman was not going to a political protest at all. She was just living her everyday life trying to get somewhere. When suddenly she looks up and the train car is filled with white supremacists. She didn't think that her day was going to end up like this. But nonetheless, now she has to adapt so that she can survive. Black Americans have to constantly adapt in order to ensure their safety, because many times outside forces have put our lives in jeopardy. Photos like this also remind me of the sheer cowardice of many conservatives. They hold these beliefs and they say that they're proud about them, but not one single one of their faces is visible. And that's because these people are your doctors, your lawyers, your coworkers, your friends' friends, people that don't want their everyday lives to be affected by the hatred that they hold in their heart. That photo is also the perfect representation for where our country is at their 250th anniversary, because no matter how they try to rewrite history or control the narrative, this
this is always going to be America's legacy. Everyone be safe out there. I love you, and I'll talk to you next time.
Okay, take a look at this picture. Now, that picture was supposedly taken in D.C. this past July 4th by some Reuters photographer out of Colorado, of all places. And just taken at random here, just at random. It's reportedly a chilling photo of a young black girl on a D.C. metro train, surrounded by members of a shadowy racist group called the Patriot Front. Really? Let's ask some questions about this picture. First off, who is this young lady? Oh, wait, she's unidentified. You mean the photographic journalist didn't get her name? And what about these Patriot Front people who supposedly staged this mass march on D.C. on the 4th of July of all days? You can say what you want, but I don't believe any of this garbage. The Southern Poverty Law Center payroll appears to be at work here. You know, they got caught in the bullcrap that got caught in, and now they intend to smear more of that bullcrap in the eyes of Americans to shift the narrative back in their favor. Well, it is not working for me, even though their comrades in the media are trying to help them. Watch this.
Do you, as Interior Secretary, will you recommend to the president that he condemn this group and what they were trying to message, what they did try to message here in Washington?
Well, there have been, Deanna, part of my response to that is that there are protests on the mall that people say things that I think are irreprehensible about President Trump, and yet they're allowed to go on because of free speech in our country.
And of course, these phony baloney boogeymen, they have to be tied to President Trump some kind of way, right? Whatever kind of way they can tie him to him. They've got to be. And to be used to smear the celebration of America's 250-year anniversary with headlines like this garbage, it is absolutely unbelievable. But you know, the real question I have for the mainstream media is this. Where was your total outrage on this train? You remember, down in Charlotte, not too long ago, when a 14-time convicted felon stabbed a girl on a train to death and then bragged about, quote, getting a white girl as he stormed away? That was a real murder by a real racist and a real criminal. That horse hockey in D.C. this past weekend was a Southern Poverty Law Center production of a mainstream media film. Bottom line, I will not be fooled again, and neither will America. Not by the communists with the cameras, and not by Morris D.'s wicked offspring.
Anyways, welcome back, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys literally enjoyed all of that clip I was able to roll out for you guys, where we literally see a black woman, fearless, resilient. I don't know why a lot of people are saying this is actually AI. This is not AI, okay? This is literally not AI, because I saw I don't know if I actually stitched that particular clip where someone was saying, oh, this is actually AI, blah blah blah. This is literally how America has become. Yeah, this is literally how it has become, and this literally showed how this black woman is fearless. We blacks as well, okay? Because at the end of the day, you have these maggots trying to just show yourself. I actually do not know why they are celebrating, because right now a lot of people are saying we are backward. As Americans, we are backward. So what is the point of celebrating? You can even see from the video that a lot of white people are not even happy. I'm not going to say a lot. I think some of white people are not even happy. But I already understand the fact that there are some white folks that no matter what you do, no matter what happens, even if you're slitting their throats, they are still going to tell you the orange man's regime is actually the best for them. But I love that this woman is fearless. I love how she sat there bold, minding her business. Because, like, what is it to celebrate about? I don't know if you guys have actually seen this picture, and if you think there is any other meaning relating to this particular post this particular picture, please let me know in the comment section. I would really love to know more about it. Okay, I really love to know, because I know a lot of people are pissed off that this picture actually went viral. They are pissed off. They are thinking maybe this is another time for us to start addressing what we're not supposed to address, but that's the reality of what America is right now. They celebrate, but they're not seeing what is happening. Black kids are being drowned, lost in prison. People are being racially profiled. People are hungry. Nobody's seeing that, but they are enjoying the luxury of white supremacy, and I wish them well. Anyways, kudos to that woman, because she showed resilience, she showed confidence, power, fearless. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be seeing back, and I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. I love you from the depth of my heart. Yeah, yeah, yeah.